Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good night, whatever time you're watching this video. And today I will be talking about the hypothalamic pituitary relationship. Okay, so I will just be giving a brief overview of the hypothalamus and the pituitary. So let me start with the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus produces releasing and inhibiting hormones which stop and start the production of other hormones throughout the body. So some hormones I will be talking about are the antidiuretic hormone, which is the hormone that increases water absorption into the blood by the kidneys. The next one is the corticotropin releasing hormone, and this sends a message to the anterior pituitary gland to stimulate the adrenal glands to release corticosteroids. And corticosteroids help regulate metabolism and immune response. The next hormone I will talk about is gonadotropin releasing hormone, and this also stimulates the anterior pituitary to release follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, which work together to ensure normal functioning of the ovaries and the testes. The next one I'll talk about is the growth hormone, hormone releasing hormone. And this also prompts the anterior pituitary to release the growth hormone. And obviously, the growth hormone inhibiting hormone does the opposite and inhibits the production of growth hormone. Oxytocin is next up, and it is involved in a variety of processes such as orgasm, the ability to trust body temperature, sleep cycles, and the release of breast milk. The next one is prolactin releasing hormone, and this is also prompts the anterior pituitary to stimulate breast milk production through the production of prolactin. And obviously the inhibiting hormone does the opposite and inhibits it. And last but not least, the thyrotropin releasing hormone. And this triggers the release of the thyroid stimulating hormone, and which stimulates the release of thyroid hormones, which regulates metabolism, energy, and growth and development. So next up, I will talk about the pituitary. And the pituitary gland has two parts, the anterior lobe and the posterior lobe. And this is also known as the anterior pituitary and the posterior pituitary. And the function of the pituitary is that the hormones of the pituitary gland help regulate the functions of other endocrine glands. And the pituitary gland is often called a master gland because its hormones control other parts of the endocrine system, usually the thyroid gland, adrenal gland, ovaries, and the testes. And obviously, since there's two parts of a pituitary gland, there's different hormones that each lobe or part produce. So I'll talk about the anterior lobe first. So the anterior lobe releases hormones upon releasing or inhibiting hormones from the hypothalamus. And these hypothalamic hormones tell the anterior lobe whether to release more of a specific hormone or to stop the production of the hormone altogether. So I'll start off with the adrenocorticotropic hormone, and this stimulates the adrenal glands to produce hormones. The next one up is follicle stimulating hormone, and it works with luteinizing hormone to ensure normal functioning of the ovaries and testes. The next one up is the growth hormone, and is essential in everyone's years to maintaining a healthy body composition and for growth in children, and in adults it aids healthy bone and muscle mass and affects fat distribution. The next one up is luteinizing hormone, and luteinizing hormone works with FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, to ensure normal functioning of the ovaries and the testes. Prolactin is up next, and this just stimulates breast milk production. And last but not least, thyroid stimulating hormone, which stimulates the thyroid gland to produce hormones. So next up, I will talk about the posterior pituitary, or the posterior lobe. And the posterior lobe contains the end of nerve cells coming from the thalamus, and the thalamus sends hormones directly to the posterior pituitary via these nerves, and then the pituitary gland releases them. So the two hormones here are the antidiuretic hormone, which we know prompts the kidneys to increase water absorption in the blood, and oxytocin, which is involved in a variety of processes, such as contracting the uterus during childbirth and stimulating breast milk. And a fun fact about oxytocin and ADH is that it's produced by the hypothalamus, but it's stored and secreted by the posterior pituitary. So now I will talk about them working together. And the hypothalamus is connected to the pituitary gland by a thin stalk called the infundibulum. I think that's how you pronounce it. And the hypothalamic pituitary region or complex, you could say, regulate functions of the thyroid glands, the adrenal glands, the reproductive glands, growth, milk production and ejaculation, and osmoregulation. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the hypophyseal portal system. And basically an artery reaches the hypothalamus, so the artery is reaching the hypothalamus, and it forms capillary beds, and from these capillary beds, blood drains into a portal vein. So this is our portal vein, and which then travels to the anterior pituitary over here and produces new capillary beds, which before draining into veins, which eventually leads to the heart. So as you can see, simple. And because of this portal system, the hypothalamus can produce hormones that go directly to the anterior pituitary, which means they won't get diluted by traveling throughout the systematic circulation. And that's why this system is so important to us. So in conclusion, the hypothalamus produces releasing and inhibiting hormones, and the pituitary is often called the master gland due to the fact that it releases hormones into the body and regulates them. And overall, the hypophyseal system is very important to us because of the fact that hormones we produce don't get diluted going from the hypothalamus to the pituitary. And this is my reference page, so thank you for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the class as much as I did. Glad to be the last presentation. Everyone, good luck on finals. Hi everyone. So I just wanted to add a couple of comments of my own. And so my YouTube experience, it was okay. I would say I definitely had a little trouble putting PowerPoint in my YouTube video. So I had to look that up, and that was kind of confusing. But I liked how PowerPoint, like after 2010, I have the 2013 version, but after 2010's version, you can actually put the PowerPoint straight into YouTube. And PowerPoint itself lets you use like highlighters and laser pointer, as you can see, it was in my video. And I really liked that, like that helped a lot. And overall, it was fun using YouTube. It was pretty easy after you get the hang of it and Google a couple of things on how to add this and that to your video. But overall, it was pretty easy, and I really liked PowerPoint, so I would definitely say that after PowerPoint 2010, any of them, they can make videos, they can make DVDs. It's actually pretty cool. So I'd recommend it.